Hello and welcome to Soul Infused Monday, your show for an inspired and meaningful week. So thank you for coming back. Today's topic is on the truth about the so-called power of the mind. So, and before we even jump in, I'm gonna invite you to simply take a nice deep breath. Take a nice deep breath, whatever you've been doing a minute ago, wherever you are right now, just be present, become present. Relax your body. Remove any distractions. And allow yourself to be fully present in this moment here right now. Great. And take another breath. And I always said, be present with one thing fully. If you are watching or listening in, and you can leave a comment, say hello, let me know where you're listening from, where you're watching from. Hello, hello, hello. And I see your comments here, fantastic. So the truth about the power of the mind. And it sounds kind of like, oh, yeah. And it's a big, big topic. And if you're new to my show, my name is Sonia Bueno de la Torre. I'm an energy healer. I'm a self-love coach. I'm a meditation teacher. And my passion and commitment is to help women and men as well to fully love themselves, to fully explore their inner life so that they can live an authentic, loving, meaningful life in alignment with their highest purpose and with their highest values. And today it's about the power of the mind. And we hear a lot about the power of the mind. And so I want to give a little bit of a different perspective, because I also know that a lot of people struggle with the concept that, just think positive. Everything are your thoughts. If it would be that easy, I wonder why so many people struggle with it. How does that sound to you? Like, what does the power of the mind mean to you? And are you struggling in some way or another with the concept of, hey, everything is in my head, it's all about thoughts, and I just get to think differently, and then everything is good. So tell me a little bit about you. Tell me, leave a comment below, share, and then I can apply that. If you have specific questions, let me know as well. And it's going to be a short and sweet session today. It's going to be a short and sweet show, and I'm going to dive right in. So I'm going to take a sip of water. I invite you to take a sip of water as well. And obviously, if I'm not a scientist, I'm not going to talk about science, neuroscience, or anything. I'm going to give you a perspective to broaden maybe your horizon on how you can actually use the power of the mind and what's maybe missing out there and why it's maybe not as simple. And when you know why it's maybe not as simple, then you can really truly do something about it. Okay. So if this resonates with it, like with you, click the like button. Let me know that this is valuable for you. And I also invite you to just listening and receive whatever you're meant to receive. Don't believe everything I say just because I say so. It's already kind of like a little hint, like a little nugget. What you hear or what you read, no matter how popular, how famous, how known or unknown, listen to what resonates with you. If something is challenging your belief system in some way, or if you feel like there's a resistance about what you're hearing, or even a judgment, that's totally okay. That's actually good if you use it. Then you just pay attention to it, you notice it, and then you can look a little bit deeper for you so that you kind of like look at it without having to adapt it, okay? Does this sound good? So you're not supposed to believe everything I say, and yet stay open to receive something that is meant for you today. All right. So yeah, and is one shared here. Only think positive thoughts, as negative thoughts can bring you down. Make everything positive. And there's obviously, and I appreciate the comment, thank you. There's truth in it. And if it would be that simple, would this world not look a different way? Like, let's be real. How many times in your life, and you can adjust what I say with any other content, but how many times in your life you woke up in the morning and you thought a positive thought, what you would do throughout the day? It could be, today I'm going to go to the gym, or today I'm going to eat healthy, or today I'm going to take time for myself. You had that thought, right? It was a positive thought with intention. And how many times are you at the end of the day and you didn't take the time for yourself? You didn't go to the gym. You didn't do what that positive thought that you had. So there's more to that than just thinking positive. However, there's obviously a huge beneficial and a benefit to thinking positive. So I'm not dismissing that in any way. And at the same time, there's really something missing. So I'm going to say something first, and you just see how that lands with you. They call it, or so-called, the power of the mind. The mind, this is what I've been hearing for many years. Power of the mind. The mind is the most powerful tool. Change your mind and everything else will fall into place. Your thoughts create your reality. I'm not saying this is not true, but I'm saying that this is what put out there. So that gives the impression that that's the most powerful tool, that that's the most important thing, and that the mind has the power. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to tell you the mind has no power whatsoever. So I'm going to repeat this. And again, you just let it sink in there for a moment. There is no power of the mind. The power itself has no, like the mind itself has no power. In terms of how it's projected out there, it's like the power of the mind, you know, like if you use the power of the mind. So yeah, you can use the mind, but what is actually the power of the mind? The mind has no power. So I'm going to just let that sink for a moment, okay? The mind has no, it's not the mind that has the power, okay? So what is it then? What is it and how can you use it? The so-called power of the mind. So I give you an example. Like thoughts come, thoughts go. You have constant thoughts constantly, right? And without awareness or without observing your thoughts, you're just a victim of them, right? Like it's like you are in this cage full of monkeys, right, left, right, and center. They run right, they jump, and they're just all over you. You are all over the place. And the mind, without guidance and without the true power of the mind, is just a nut house. Who can relate? Just raise your hand. Click, raise your hand, whether I see you or not. Click the like button if this is true. Say, yes, I am, like, I can relate, and just leave that in the comment section. Like, do you ever feel like, oh my God, I'm all over the place. I have so many thoughts. I don't know what to do. And it's hard to kind of grasp the power of that, right? So let's assume for a moment that what I say has some truth in it, or it's the truth. So the power doesn't have any power. The mind doesn't actually have any power. So who has power? Who has the power? The mind is an apparatus. The mind is a tool. The mind is a part of our human existence. Like the heart, like the arm, like it's just part of our human makeup. And it's a very busy one. And the mind's job is to think. The heart's job is to beat. The lungs' job is to breathe, let oxygen in and out. You know, mostly our legs are meant to walk, do things. So the mind has its job. So often it's just like, oh, you've got to stop thinking. The mind will never be able to stop thinking. It's a different topic that I spoke about many times in meditation, and how you can go beyond the mind. I'm not going to talk about this today. Just want to give you a different perspective for you to look at it, so that you don't feel like a victim, or that something is wrong with you, or why are things not changing even though you are thinking positive. And what's the real power of the mind? And you can call it whatever you want, but it's what you do with the thoughts that come up, not the mind itself. You are becoming you're driving the car. Let's say you are on the driver's seat and you are steering the wheel. If you don't do that, the car just goes anywhere and goes there and there. I mean, it's maybe not super accurate, but you get the point. Now, the mind itself has no power. So when you do want to use that, you want to see, it's like, okay, you want to really get in touch with who has the power, like who is really creating change, who is really guiding my thoughts somewhere that they can be beneficial. And I also want to add one other thing. The mind or the thoughts is just one piece of the equation when it comes to personal development, inner work. And it's only one piece. It's often portrayed as the biggest one. I do not believe that's the case, because even though they often say, hey, your thoughts create your emotions create your actions create your reality. There's truth in that. However, it sounds like, oh, the mind is the most powerful. Now, the mind has a body in itself. Like we have an energy body, we have a mental body, we have an emotional body, we have an energetical body, and we have a spiritual body. And the mental body, for example, from an energetical perspective, is smaller than the emotional body. So if you're trying to change an emotional state purely by thought or will, does not work that well if it's a strong emotion. And maybe you've done that, you've had that experience. So the main reason why I wanted to share this today is because I've seen this with my clients, I've seen this for myself, in the doing the work, in really working on being more positive, with working on being more mindful with the thoughts, that we often think there's something wrong with that if it doesn't work for us. Who can relate to that one? And we think, oh, but the mind is so powerful, so I just do this and then it works for me. And I see so much suffering around that, because you give the mind the power, all the power, and then if it doesn't work, there must be something wrong with you, right? So I hear this a lot. Might not apply to you, but I'm sure you know someone that falls into that category. So just the simple knowing or notion of the mind does not have the power. Who has the power? It's awareness, it's consciousness, it's the truth of who you are, looking and observing the thoughts. Because another misconception is that you are what you think. There's truth in that sense that the more you think the same thing, energy follows attention. So the more you think the same thing, the more you will create. So there's definitely necessity to, if you keep saying every day, I have no money, I have no money, I have no money, I have no money, you won't have any money. However, if you keep saying, I have a lot of money, I have a lot of money, I have a lot of money every day, but your whole internal belief system, your emotional body, and the structures and the blocks inside go against it, it won't release the truth. And you will still create no money. Just as an example with money, it could be anything. So in a way, it's really to understand, all right, so what if I take the pressure off? That everything is that the mind is the most powerful apparatus, tool, and that it creates everything. It does not. It's one tool, and you are the conductor. The mind is a terrible master, like it's a terrible leader, but you can use it as a servant. But you are the leader. So you gotta have the awareness and the separation of consciousness that you know, hey, this is my thought, this is what I'm thinking right now, and I choose consciousness, mindfulness, what to do with that thought, and not only what to do with that thought, but to guide it in a different direction, and then to do the deeper inner work in order to whatever else coming up, automatic or unconscious, patterns from the past, wounds from the past, beliefs from the past. And you use the thoughts in your mind with consciousness, with awareness, with your mindfulness to guide it in the direction you want it to go. right? So let me know real quick, like what's landing here for you. This is such a huge topic. I could obviously give much more. I'm only scratching the surface here to give you a little bit food for like soul food for thought. That's how it's called. I want to give you some food for thought. So I'm not gonna just tell you what to do and what the solution is. It's much more than what I say. But what's landing here for you? What are you hearing that is actually resonating with you, that you might have an aha moment, that you feel like, oh, I haven't thought about this in this way, and leave me a comment below. What's landing here for you? What are you hearing me say that is actually making in some way a difference or an aha moment? And you might have heard all of this already before, and yet we always can take it a deeper level, because to reprogram, to access, I'm going to say it's reprogramming is one word, but it's accessing the truth. Like you might say, your thoughts might say, oh, I'm so stupid. I am so stupid. The inner critic uses the mind to that subpersonality of the inner critic uses the mind to really convey certain thoughts. And then you might believe them because they're running up subconsciously automatic for so long. And you have a belief system that you're not good enough, for example. So when you keep hearing this thought over and over, you believe that it's true. But the truth is that that's a lie. The truth is that that's a lie. It's not the truth. So the mind is not the one who conveys the truth. The mind conveys whatever information it gets constantly. It's like a little toddler. Like imagine like a little toddler who's just starting to learn how to walk. You have to pay attention to this toddler all the time. Like if you just look away for 5 minutes, oh my God. I mean, anyone who has a toddler, had a toddler, and has been around it, you have to keep your eyes on them like every second, because otherwise they're gonna do whatever they grab. They might fall, they're just curious, they're all over the place. So imagine your mind is similar. So you as the consciousness, you as your awareness in connection with really tuning up of the truth of the, divine God, whatever you want to call it, the truth of in this moment is not created by the mind, is guided by it. Yeah. So I hope this makes sense. Again, let me know what your biggest takeaway. And Pamela is saying the heart has more power. Yeah. It's not a competition, obviously, and the heart has a different type of power. Yeah, beautiful. And we can choose what we think. Yeah, and prioritize. Yes. Reprogram your thoughts. Yes. What other takeaways do you have? So Lynn is saying, we don't have to believe every thought, but instead dissect those thoughts and decide what is truth and what is junk, leading to more peace. Yeah, beautiful. Really great takeaway. And I want to add one more thing to illustrate that, how you can use it for yourself. Usually when we wake up in the morning, the first thoughts, the very first, like when we just wake up, they're totally unconscious, totally automatic until you switch on your intention, awareness, or choice, your mind to it. Like for example, you wake up and say, oh my God, I have to go to work, for example. And if you don't shift that, you go into a certain energy vibration. So, but the mind does not decide to shift that. You with your consciousness, you say, okay, so I could shift it by thinking of something that I'm grateful for. So I'm telling my mind to think a different thought. But the mind itself has no power. And I invite you to experiment and to play around and to not give your mind that much power, and rather see it as a tool that you observe and that you get to guide and direct. The question is obviously then, okay, how do I do that? And there are many ways. I'm not going to go too much into this, but I will, I'm here live every Monday. So I teach so much. And I'm sure that there are other calls before that address exactly how to do that. But my number one tool that I love to really use is energy-based meditation, where you not only look at the mind, you go beyond the mind. For example, the mind will still keep thinking. The mind will still keep thinking, and that's okay. Also, I invite you to let go of the judgment. I feel like it's a big one. Yeah, just feel how it makes you feel when you choose to just let go of the judgment. So take the pressure off. Be open to look at it from a different perspective. Take the pressure off that you get to change everything just by thinking your thoughts. Because again, that would be so easy. Don't you think you would have done it a long time ago and this world would be a different place? There's something missing. So that's what I'm inviting you today. I'm inviting you today to rethink, to go a little deeper, to reflect, to play with it, to take the pressure off, to allow yourself to have a mind. You are not your mind. To have thoughts, you are not the thoughts. You're so much more than that. And yes, they can have power over you if you don't take the power. Does it make sense? So you can either wheel your own car, drive your own car, or someone else will do it for you. It's the same with the mind. So I hope this is helpful. And I know it was just a little something, but I'd be curious to hear what's your biggest takeaway from today. So take a moment, and I really invite you right now. Before you leave, before you do anything else, just take a nice deep breath. Close your eyes even if you can. If you're driving, obviously keep them open, but close your eyes for a moment. Tune in. Out of whatever you've heard today, what's your biggest takeaway? And there's always something, whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether you believe, whether this is new, whether this is old. What's one thing that you are going to either use in some way, your biggest takeaway? And please share it with me. Leave a comment below. And the reason why that is so helpful for you is once you tune into what is actually valuable for me, what's my biggest takeaway, it will anchor deeper in you, and your mind and your attention and intention will create more pathways to think that, and then you have a better chance to really adapt that and to apply that. Also, by sharing it, like by writing it down, by like putting it to paper, putting it here into a comment below in some way, and that also anchors it even deeper. And then also you give someone else the opportunity to learn from you, because when you share your biggest takeaway, someone might read that and say, oh my God, that's such a great takeaway, I didn't even think of that. So take a moment after the show, before you just go, before your mind leads you somewhere else, you get to decide what you want to do. You can make a conscious choice to, hey, this is for me. I'm doing this for me. I want to see what's valuable for me. I'm going to put my mind to it. I'm going to set some of the thoughts to it. And remember, it's not the power of the mind. The mind does not really have that power. It's your consciousness, your awareness, your aware ego, if you want to call it that. It's your soul, it's your higher self that operates, that uses the mind as a tool. So it does not have that much power over you. Just take a nice deep breath on that. And I'm going to share one more takeaway, and then please keep the takeaways down. Like if you're watching the replay, if you're listening to this on Insight Timer or on YouTube, on Facebook, just leave a review, leave a comment, and share your biggest takeaway with us. So one takeaway from Tahira is, when I'm aware of, when I begin to feel that kind of thing, I go over my thoughts to discover the trigger. Beautiful. That's a really great takeaway. Thank you so much for being here today. I invite you to come next Monday again. Every Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the Soul Infused Monday show. If this was valuable, if this was beneficial in some way, please like this video. Please leave a review and come back next Monday. I wish you a fantastic rest of your day, an inspired and meaningful week. Sending you much, much love, and enjoy observing and playing and discovering your mind maybe in a different way this week. Much love.